Hi, I'm Allison Schwab. I am the wife of Doug Schwab, the head coach at the University of Northern Iowa, and I am here to talk to you about how I wrestle with being a mom of kids with special needs. We have 4 kids. Our oldest is 12, and then our next is 11, both boys, Hayden and Hendrix. And then 3 years ago, we had twin girls, Jenna and Lennon. We noticed about their year mark that they weren't developing their speech and language as quickly as our other kids had. Eventually, at their 18-month mark, we had our doctor refer us to the University of Iowa Center for Disabilities and Development. And that following March of last year, our twin girls were diagnosed with autism. You know, your world kind of stops for a little bit. All of a sudden you want to know all these things about this topic that's never entered your world before now. And everything else is just keeps moving around you, you know? So our boys were getting ready for preseason nationals or postseason nationals. They're in school. Our girls are still, just their normal selves at home. But here you had this big thing that you have no idea what that's going to look like and what your life is going to look like down the road. So one of the first things that we were told was early intervention is key. And Doug, my first question and my only question to the doctors was, is there a chance that they'll not have autism later in life? Or is this it? Like they're diagnosed and that's it? And they said, no, there is a chance that there may come a time where they no longer meet the criteria. And me and Doug pretty much agreed right then that that was going to be our goal, was to work with them, provide them with the most care and opportunities and therapies, to not change them, but to give them the best possible opportunities for success in life, just like we had done with our boys. And Doug probably took a little bit more of a, competitive approach, like, we're going to show you, you just wait till we come back to this first, this 1-year appointment. And I think I went straight into how am I going to do all these things and him be gone coaching all the time and our other kids' lives not be extremely affected by this. Well, spoiler alert, all of our lives were extremely affected by this, but not in the way that you would think. Yes, it is tiring sometimes to go to multiple therapies a day. It is hard to plan a trip based on you don't know how they'll tolerate it. And then the biggest thing is they can't communicate their needs like children, normally do. So they use a communication device to help bridge that gap, as well as some sign and some pictures that they show us to tell us what they need. But my biggest struggle was, just what this would look like for our life. I was so used to being on the go, on the road with my other 2. If Doug had a camp, we would just attend with him, and it was not a big deal at all. If we wanted to take off and visit my family, we would take off and visit my family. And I will say that I'm super thankful that I have still tried to do a lot of those things and keep our life as normal as it was as possible. But I'm super thankful for some of the things that have changed because of the twins, and that is our life slowed down a lot. We hunkered down for a while in our home and made it the best that we possibly could for them. And I gave up ideas of picture perfect house when people walked in, and opened myself up to having a whole wall that's a sensory wall for them. I let go of little things like a lot of what we look like in public, because there's going to be a meltdown and a tantrum, and part of that's being a toddler, and part of that's being not being able to communicate what they're feeling and what their needs are. And so I had to give up a little bit on caring what other people thought, and if I was ever going to go anywhere in public again. The biggest change I've seen has been in my boys. They have completely opened themselves up to loving our girls. And not that I didn't think that they would, but just in a different way. You know, it's brought patience to them. It's brought awareness to them. They're aware of other people's needs. I think we all are, a lot more than we ever have been. They're aware of how we treat people, things that we say, things that are available to us, being thankful for the gifts that you have, and the ones that we just take for granted, like being able to communicate. And you know, we're able to really just open their eyes to an entire world, and our eyes to an entire world that we had not been exposed to before. And that was one of kids with special needs. And you know, I wrestled probably the most with how our boys would be affected by it. And sure, there's times where they ask like, oh, you know, the twins are going, because they know it's going to take longer. They know it's going to be harder. They know that their mom's probably going to be more on edge with whatever we're doing. But there's other times where they just have learned so much from the twins that there's other ways to tell someone you love them other than verbally, you know, but by showing them or by sign language. And there is nothing better than going to Tulsa with your kid and him looking up at you in the stands and going like this, which means I love you, and knowing that the only reason why we do this is because of our girls, and teaching them to say I love you, because we hadn't heard it yet. But I would lie if I said it was easy. I know sometimes it looks like it's easy and that we're just like gung-ho, and you know, I hear a lot of people say, oh my goodness, you're just such an incredible mother. And there are multiple days that I do not feel like an incredible mother. And there's multiple times where I questioned if I was at fault for any of their delays. And, you know, obviously you have to have faith in our Creator, and knowing that He has what's best in mind. And knowing how much that we have gained from these two, and the people that we have met, the people that were put in our life before they were even diagnosed, that had a big influence in our lives now to get them the help that they need, is only more proof that God is going to provide for you and equip you. And it's not easy every day, especially with a husband that's gone. If there's something I'm thankful for COVID, it's been the time that Doug has gotten with our girls, and the things that he's been able to see that happen behind the scenes that a lot of times I just take care of. And he's been able to have probably a better appreciation for all of the insurance work and paperwork and things like that that have to be done or fought for, and services. And so yes, we are a family with kids that have special needs, and special needs that sometimes are invisible to people's eye. You know, they don't see the need, they just see how well our girls' gross motor skills are. But there's a lot more going on, and they are working so hard. They're such smart girls. If anything, I just want to be able to share our story and help others that are out there that have questions about their kids, or they're struggling to get services for their kids, and just be a hopeful experience for them to watch, that no matter how our girls turn out, that we are giving them the best possible opportunity to succeed, without changing who they are, and still loving them for, you know, all of their spiciness and everything in between.